Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for the afternoon, His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. It's a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your time. And let me start by asking Mr. Ambassador about today's meetings. The Foreign Minister, Badr Abdulati, received on Saturday several officials. He started the day off with receiving the South Sudanese Minister of Trade and Industry, Joseph Mamajak. What could you tell us about this meeting, Your Excellency?
It's a meeting with different dimensions.
Yes.
Of course, it's our African policy. It is our Arab policy also. It is the security of the Red Sea and the Mediterranean and the Suez Canal. And also the problems in Africa between different countries and inside some civil wars inside some African countries. Mm-hmm. And Egypt is the most respected country in Africa. We are well received in Africa. Our reputation is beyond imagination. And this gives us the position to implement whatever we see as fair result to negotiations. So we expect this will help for the unity of our brother country in Somalia, for less and less problems in Africa, and especially in the entrance of the Red Sea. Also, there is the dimension of the River Nile and the struggle between some African countries about the water. So this is a sort of multi-purpose meeting. And we hope that as long as the negotiation is going ahead and there is a sort of dialogue between countries, then you have less and less problems.
Absolutely.
And this is what Egypt is doing also.
Absolutely. Your Excellency, the Foreign Minister also received on Saturday both the Somali as well as Eritrean foreign ministers and held a press conference with these officials. Afterwards, they discussed issues related to security, related to collaboration and cooperation on the part of the countries with each other. How important do you see such collaboration and bilateral, or tripartite rather, cooperation between the three countries?
First, I see that we have a very long history.
Yes.
With Somalia and its independence from years ago. We have one diplomat, one Egyptian diplomat who was killed there by an Ethiopian, Gamal Salah, and we commemorate him by naming one very important square near Tahrir Square after his name.
Yes.
Somalia is facing a problem also because it is a divided country in two factions, and we want them to look to one flag and one country and to believe that the unity of Somalia is good for everybody, and we are helping this. Egypt also has the dimension of financing economic cooperation. We have the Egyptian Fund for Investment and Cooperation in Africa. We hope that the capital of such a fund will be doubled or tripled even, because we need many sources of finance like that. As of Eritrea, also it's another brother country, and we're helping them in order to keep their unity. And all this is very important for us for the security of the navigation in the Red Sea, in Suez Canal, and in the Mediterranean. And
absolutely.
In Africa also, we want the African countries to feel that their security depends on their good relations, and we are encouraging such sort of good relations between African countries and among themselves.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. Now, the Foreign Minister also said during the press conference that Egypt and Somalia and Eritrea have agreed on the sovereignty of Somalia as well as the support of the Somali army. He also said Egypt, Somalia and Eritrea have also agreed on the unity of Sudan and protection of the country's institutions. This is very important, the lack of interference as well as the sovereignty of the nation's protection of its institutions. And Egypt is also taking part in a UN force that is a peacekeeping force in Somalia, which is another role that Egypt plays in this regard.
Yes, always, even we wouldn't hesitate to help our brothers in Somalia and other African countries. But Somalia is very dear to us and very near to our foreign policy. And as I said, we are well presented in all the African countries, and our reputation is above all countries. That's why we are keen to show our support to the African unity and the unity inside every single country in order to keep them much stronger and much beneficial for economic development. And we are doing our efforts in order to make Africa much more attractive for investment and finance. We have the initiative of our president during Sharm el-Sheikh conference a couple of years ago, where he asked the donors countries to come to invest in Africa with the Egyptian experience on the African soil, what we call tripartite cooperation. We hope that this will continue. We hope that we shall get more partners in order to help all the African countries, especially now we have Somalia and Eritrea, to make them happier, to make them much benefitable from this sort of economic cooperation.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant to Foreign Minister. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your time and your insight on today's edition of Arab Affairs.